and forms part of activities marking the third anniversary of the Tinubu administration. FCT Minister Barrister Wilson Wike said the housing project was executed on directive of President Tinubu to enhance the security, dignity, and independence of the judiciary. He also announced plans to seek presidential approval for the residences to become owner-occupier homes for the judges, and disclosed that additional residential quarters for heads of courts and FCT judges would be completed before the end of the president's first term. Responding on behalf of the beneficiaries, the Chief Judge of the FCT High Court expressed appreciation to President Tinubu and the FCT administration, describing the project as a major boost to the judiciary. He pledged that judges of the FCT High Court would continue to uphold the rule of law by dispensing justice fairly, fearlessly, and without favor. Now, the Senate has announced a 50 million naira donation to the families of security personnel and teachers who lost their lives during a military operation to rescue pupils and staff abducted from a school in Oria local government area of Oyo State. The announcement was made on Wednesday by Senate President Kutsula Akpabio during plenary, as lawmakers commended the armed forces and other security agencies for the successful rescue of the kidnapped victims after 56 days in captivity. According to Senator Akpabio, the Senate approved the donation as a token of support for the bereaved families, with 10 million naira each to be presented to the next of kin of the 5 victims. General Officer Commanding GOC 2 Division, Nigerian Army, Major General Chinedu Ralph Nnebiefia, had disclosed that 3 military personnel were killed during a month-long operation to dismantle the Ansaru terrorist network operating within the Old Oyo National Park. Several local hunters and Amotekun Corps operatives who supported a joint security operation also reportedly lost their lives during the rescue mission. Senate Minority Leader Abba Moru has identified lack of cooperation among traditional institutions and other stakeholders as a root cause of incessant killings in Benue State. Addressing newsmen after plenary, Senator Abba Moru, who was full of emotion about the recent killing in Benue State, said that the traditional ruler of Idoma Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Agaba Idu Iliegu Odobu John, got the intelligence report about the killings of 20 people in Akpachi village in Ubojo community, Otubunobi, 7 days earlier before the incident took place. Senator Moro said the killings in Benue should not be reduced to giving consolation gifts, accusing Governor Alia of lack of concern and only interested in visiting victims in Makurdi Hospital and avoided affected communities. Answering questions from journalists, the senator insisted that relevant authorities should take necessary actions in curbing the incessant attacks on communities in his constituency. The Senate Minority Leader said the recent attacks could not be linked to the killing of the Mieti Allah leader in Benue State. He expressed fear on the creation of state police, saying it would not serve the purpose. Now, in a related development, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Dr. Abbas Tajuddin, has dispelled widespread concerns on possibility of the proposed state police becoming instruments of political intimidation, insisting that the executive bill before the National Assembly contains extensive constitutional safeguards to prevent governors or political actors from hijacking state-controlled security outfits. The Speaker, in a remark at the National Security Roundtable, part of the 2026 Open Week of the National Assembly, described such fears as legitimate concerns which were anticipated and had been addressed by those who drafted the constitutional amendment. He explained that under the proposed constitutional amendment, a State Commissioner of Police would not be appointed solely by the Governor, but through a process involving the National Police Council and the State House of Assembly. Speaker Abbas added the bill also provides constitutional mechanisms for federal intervention if a state police service becomes compromised or ceases to function within the law. He commended President Bola Tinubu for transmitting the executive bill to the National Assembly, saying previous leaders had discussed state policing for decades without taking concrete action. Dr. Abbas also complimented the armed forces and the police and other security agencies. He argued that Nigeria's present policing structure could no longer adequately respond to evolving security threats across the nation. Now, Executive Director of the Policy and Legal Advocacy Center, PLAC, Mr. Clement Nwanko, and wife of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Hajia Fatima Tajuddin Abbas, have urged members of the 10th National Assembly to ensure passage of the Constitution Alteration Bill seeking the creation of special reserved seats for women, describing it as one of the most significant democratic reforms before the legislature. The PLAC Executive Director and wife of the Speaker made the appeal in their separate remarks during the 2026 National Assembly Open Week on Wednesday in Abuja. They warned that the Assembly's legislative legacy would be diminished if the landmark bill fails to secure passage. Mr. Nwanko, speaking during the national dialogue on the Electoral College model for the special seats bill, said while the current National Assembly had demonstrated remarkable legislative productivity over the past 2 years through numerous bills, motions, and reforms aimed at strengthening democratic governance, none of those initiatives will rival the significance of the special seats for women bill. According to him, the legislation represents a defining moment for Nigeria's democracy as it seeks to correct the long-standing underrepresentation of women in elective offices. Both the PLAC executive director and wife of the speaker, addressing the speaker through the House leader, Professor Julius Ehumbere, appealed for sustained advocacy to ensure lawmakers in both chambers support the bill. Earlier, Nigerian women leaders serving and former lawmakers, including Chairperson of the House Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development, Mrs. Kafilat Ogbara, and former Speaker Patricia Ete, former public office holders as well as civil society organizations renewed calls for increased female representation in governance. Now, the Al-Habibiyah Islamic Society has called on stakeholders in the electoral system to strengthen engagement that will ensure a peaceful democratic process ahead of the 2027 general elections. The organization, in collaboration with the Mambaya House, Bayero University, Kano, made the call at a one-day electoral stakeholders workshop in Abuja. Kabiru Jibril reports.
The symposium brought together relevant stakeholders, faith-based organizations, civil society groups, and the academic community. In a welcome address, the Al-Habibiyah Islamic Society and Mambaya House reaffirming their commitment to strengthen Nigeria's democratic system.
The partnership between Al-Habibiyah Islamic Society and Aminu Kano Center for Democratic Studies, Mambaya House, is a deliberate union designed to build a bridge between the moral persuasion and structured democratic education.
I am pleased to inform you that Al-Habibiyah Islamic Society and Mambaya House have jointly developed a comprehensive, large-scale proposal aimed at promoting peaceful, credible, inclusive, and violence-free elections in preparations for the 2027 general elections.
At the event, MacArthur Foundation unveiled its Nigeria Next initiative aimed at addressing electoral challenges in Nigeria.
How do we use technology a whole lot more? And the Nigeria Next initiative focuses more on the use of technology as a game changer, as a way to tackle recidivism, which is constant repeat behavior in the same way, or stealing what is our commonwealth.
In their goodwill message, stakeholders focus on the need to ensure safety and peaceful conduct during elections in Nigeria.
Moving to the general elections in 2027, that is next year, adequate security, adequate measures will be put in place. And one thing I want to urge us all is to encourage as many people as possible to come out to vote.
We encourage all citizens, especially women and youth, to participate responsibly in the electoral process, promote peace, reject violence, and uphold justice before, during, and after elections.
Efforts have been made, even in the Christian circle. We're making efforts. Seminars are taken to educate people more on how and why they should vote.
Election engagement and
in a keynote address, Professor Abubakar Sadiq of the University of Abuja speaks on the need to promote a peaceful democratic participation in the country.
It's a tripartite pact between strong institutions, accountable leadership, and an engaged citizenry. If these three pillars hold, Nigeria will not merely conduct elections, it will emerge as a democracy that delivers peace, equity, and development for all.
Faith-based organization.
Panel discussions rounded off the workshop with participants deliberating on fostering an inclusive democratic environment, enhancing voter participation, and strengthening voter education. Kabiru Jibril, Aso Television News.
Now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has secured the final forfeiture of 48 properties linked to the former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, to the federal government of Nigeria.
48 properties linked to the former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, to the federal government of Nigeria.
The 48 properties linked to the former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, to the federal government of Nigeria. The judgment delivered on Wednesday at the Federal High Court in Abuja ruled that the Commission had successfully established that the properties were reasonably suspected to be proceeds of unlawful activities and were not acquired from legitimate sources of income. Among the forfeited assets are Rehan University in Kebbi State, including Rehan Radio and several high-value properties in Abuja. The forfeiture extends to properties in Kano and Kebbi State and extensive parcels of land. Also listed are properties belonging to Kadimiya for Justice and Development Initiative in Birnin Kebbi and about 5 hectares of land acquired through the Federal Housing Authority Mortgage Scheme. Now, when Aso Briefing returns, more stories on business and more. Please stay with us.
From June 11th till July 19th, everything fit way. The FIFA World Cup 2026 go happen. Touchlight all 104 matches on top 4 correct channels. Sharply grab your GoTV decoder, Go Tenor plus 1 month jolly for only 15,000 naira. Live on Super Sport, only on GoTV.
You are watching Aso Briefing. Watch us live on DSTV channel 392. Also on StarTimes TV channel 127 and Free TV channel 507. We are also on Virtual Band channel 38. And the news continues. The federal government has strengthened the international authentication of Nigerian passports by successfully importing all of Nigeria's country signing certificate authorities into the International Civil Aviation Organization Public Key Directory. This was contained in a statement issued by the National Public Relations Officer of the Nigerian Immigration Service, Deputy Comptroller of Immigration Akinshola Akinlabi. He said the ceremony marking the successful importation was held at the ICAO headquarters in Montreal, Canada. According to the statement, the exercise was led by the Comptroller General of Immigration, Kemi Nanandap, as part of effort to resolve the passive authentication challenges experienced by some Nigerian passport holders at selected foreign border control points. The statement explained that with the successful importation of all Nigeria's existing CSCAs into the ICAO Public Key Directory, a trusted chain of authentication has been established, enabling Nigerian passports to be verified seamlessly by border control systems in all ICAO PKD member states. The Nigerian Immigration Service said the achievement reflects its continued investment in secure digital identity management and international border security cooperation in line with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. The service reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening the integrity of Nigeria's travel documents, enhancing global interoperability, and ensuring seamless border clearance for holders of Nigerian passports worldwide. Now, the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, has urged motorists to take extra precautions while driving during the rainy season to reduce road crashes. FRSC Corps Marshal Shehu Mohammed says heavy rainfall reduces visibility and makes roads slippery, increasing the risk of accidents. He advised drivers to ensure their windscreens are clean, headlights, brake lights, and indicators are functioning properly, and windscreen wipers are in good condition before embarking on any journey. The Corps Marshal also urged motorists to reduce speed, switch on their headlights whenever it rains, and ensure their tires have adequate grip for safe driving on wet roads. He directed FRSC commanding officers nationwide to intensify traffic calming, public enlightenment campaigns, and vehicle safety checks, particularly on windscreen wipers, throughout the rainy season, while appealing to motorists to obey safety rules and drive safely to stay alive. The local education secretary of Gwagwalada Area Council, Mr. Mama Musa, says the council's education management has put all necessary measures in place to ensure that teachers across all public primary schools are punctual and remain at their duty post. Mr. Musa stated this while reacting to a directive issued by the chairman of Gwagwalada Area Council, Comrade Aso Mohammed Ikwa, during a meeting with the head teachers of the council's 98 public primary schools. He explained that the initiative is aimed at identifying ghost workers and teachers who have abandoned their primary responsibilities to engage in other jobs. According to him, any teacher found guilty of such practices will have his or her salary stopped.
All our visitors who visit all the schools, like quality assurance, who schedule their visit to our schools to see who is actually not there, and anybody that is not there practicable, we send for them to visit us in the office with their lesson plan and schedule of their duty. 2, we stop their salaries when they identify, and at the end of the day, we will compile our report about those type of people.
Mr. Mamu Musa said the era of hiding under any guise to defraud the government is over, noting that the local education authority is already witnessing positive changes under the administration of Comrade Aso Mohammed Ikwa. He commended the chairman's commitment to teachers' welfare, particularly the salary augmentation implemented last month.
We have seen a very good face of this administration because he's committed. He committed himself last month in not delaying our salary for augmentation. I did this without waiting for any request. So with all he pronounced today again, we can say it's an achievement already in the area of education, in the area of the people of Gwagwalada entirely.
The early years secretary expressed delight at having one of their own as chairman of the area council, expressing confidence that better days lie ahead of teachers in Gwagwalada Area Council. Correspondent Abdullah Mukra reports that Mr. Mama Musa also called on members of the 4th Estate of the REM to give council chairman adequate publicity for his laudable achievements. Now, the Nigerian Union of Journalists, FCT Council, has pledged to strengthen collaboration with the Nigerian Police Force in promoting gender reforms and increasing media coverage of policewomen's achievements. The commitment was made at the Nigerian Police Women Conference 2026 held in Abuja under the theme Strengthening Women's Leadership in Policing for Inclusive Security and Sustainable Reform. The Council stressed that gender-responsive policing is a matter of public interest and called for greater media inclusion in ongoing police reform efforts. Delivering the NUJ FCT chairman, Comrade Grace Ike's goodwill message, the Council's auditor Rosemary Kukutega, said the media had often been excluded from discussions on gender mainstreaming within the police. She noted that a free press and gender-responsive policing are mutually reinforcing pillars of accountability and public trust. Kukutega also urged the police to appoint designated liaison officers to improve communication with the NUJ, while encouraging policewomen to share their stories and activities for wider publicity across the Council's media platforms. The NUJ FCT Council maintained that its position aligns with its long-standing advocacy for transparency, institutional accountability, and media inclusion in public sector reforms. It observed that despite the growing leadership roles of women in the Nigerian police force, many of their achievements remain largely unreported due to the absence of structured engagement within the police and the media. The Council reaffirmed its readiness to help amplify the contributions of policewomen and promote greater public awareness of ongoing gender reforms. In his keynote address, delivered on behalf of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Olatunji Rilwan-Disu, Director of Force Medical Services, AIG Nkechi Eze, said the revival of the Nigerian Policewomen Conference reflects the force's commitment to expanding women's participation in leadership and decision-making. While acknowledging the outstanding contributions of women officers in investigations, tactical operations, forensic peacekeeping, and international assignments, the IGP noted that mentorship gaps, limited leadership opportunities, and welfare challenges continue to hinder the advancement. He called for practical recommendations that would strengthen mentorship, leadership development, and inclusive policies within the police force. Now, accredited civil societies and community-based organizations in Nigeria have endorsed President Tinubu's efforts to tackle insecurity. Speaking at the 2026 summit in Abuja, the DG of the Civil Society Central Coordinating Council, Kunle Yusuf, also called for investment in the country's security architecture. Oluchi Jacinta Okori reports.
Participants at the summit, while announcing their support for President Tinubu's efforts to tackle insecurity, also adopted a 15-point Nigeria First agenda aimed at promoting national unity and advancing sustainable development across the country. In his remarks, Director General Civil Society's Central Coordinating Council, Kunle Yusuf, pledged the commitment of CSEC to prioritize national interest, adding that civil society organizations will continue to serve as a bridge between the government and the people in promoting national development.
On the May 1st, the President declared state of emergency on poverty. It shows that when there is a submission and you talk true to the tower, the leaders must listen. After doing that, he further directed the Secretary of the Federation to attend our summit in Lagos with 10 agencies who are actually working with a mandate on sustainable development goal and COP 30 recommendation. And the Special Assistant to the President on Climate Change matter said it publicly that the President has also approved, inaugurated the National Committee on Climate Change Advocacy. Therefore, we encourage all Nigerians to be patriotic in nature and join us in promoting Nigeria First agenda.
Speaking with journalists, Chair Planning Committee for the National CSO Summit, Salome Eferimo, emphasized the vital role of civil society organizations, saying that CSOs must drive value reorientation through a structured framework that would ensure that every Nigerian has a voice in the country's development.
The civil society is the moral compass of the country, and if the moral compass of the country should fall back and say, oh, we said it yesterday, it will not work. You have to reverberate it, you have to reinstate it, you have to keep talking about it until it becomes a password for everybody in this country. Nigeria shall be better for it. And that change is coming. It's coming, it's here, it's now, it's also for the future.
Earlier, the Vice Chairman Planning Committee, Dr. Judith Mayen Obara, said sustained collaboration among all levels of government would help drive the objectives of the theme.
Projecting civil society at the moment and doing what civil society is meant to do, being the watchdog for the community.
The summit pledged to reject hate speech, fake news, and divisive narratives capable of undermining national unity, while calling for intensified civic education ahead of future elections. Oluchi Jacinta Okori, Aso Television News.
Now in business, a sum of 2.550 trillion naira has been shared to the federal government, state and local government councils in June 2026 as Federation account revenue. A press statement signed by the Director of Press and Public Relations to the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, Mr. Bawa Mukwa, disclosed that the revenue was shared at the July 2026 Federation Account Allocation Committee (FAC) meeting held in Abuja. The statement indicates that the 2.550 trillion naira total distributable revenue comprised distributable statutory revenue of 1.809 trillion naira, distributable value added tax revenue of 740.7 billion naira. A communique issued by the FAC stated that the federal government received a sum of 923.4 billion naira. The states received 838 billion naira. The local government councils received 591.3 billion naira, while a sum of 197.6 billion naira was shared to the benefiting states as 13% derivation revenue. They further acknowledged that in June 2026, companies' income, tax, CGT, SDT, petroleum royalties, gas flood rental, and value-added tax, import duty and CET levies increased significantly. Petroleum profit tax, hydrocarbon tax, mineral royalties, and fees decreased considerably, while excise duty increased marginally. That's Aso Briefing for today. I'm Harry C.D. Suraju. Thanks for watching.